Thank you very much. Your name, please.
My name is Gary Jones. I live in the Mission Park area, and I just wanted to note the first thing you say to us is, first, only 2 minutes, and you want to cut down the time. You want to filter the amount of comments, and secondly, you don't want to hear anybody that has the same...
Smith, and I'm a parent in Mission Park School. This is my daughter. She'll be in 2nd grade. I am reading this for Christine McCuistion, who was not be able to be here, to Trustees Garcia, Barnes, Kim, Hoffman, and Larison. I am writing to share the positive experiences I have had with Principal Burnett Greenlee in the past 2 years that my children have been at Mission Park. My positive experiences began actually before my children even started to attend the school. Before enrolling my children at Mission Park, I called the school to request a meeting with the principal and request a tour. Mrs. Greenlee welcomed me with open arms, gave me a tour of the school, and answered all of my questions. I was struck when touring the school with her that children ran up to her in the hallways to give her a hug. She knew all of the children that greeted her by name. I wondered if she actually knew all of the children by name. Now, after having been at the school for the past 2 years, I know that, in fact, she does know all the children by name. At that meeting with her, I also remembered that numerous times she said, whatever is best for the children. After I'd spent 30 minutes with Mrs. Greenlee that day, I knew that Mission Park would be a wonderful, loving environment for my children to learn in and register them for kindergarten. You have heard that Mrs. Greenlee always greets the children and parents before and after school. We have her responses that all principals do this. However, when my children attended a nearby school for transitional kindergarten, I did not even know what the principal looked like until April. I would also like to attest to Mrs. Greenlee's outstanding leadership skills. In December, I had an idea to start a parent-led group during our long recess to help organize sports activities and decrease the opportunities for bullying for the 1st through 3rd graders. While some questioned whether this was possible, she saw the possibilities and said go for it. Within a month, the Mission Park Athletic Club, Impact, was formed. Rather than squelching parents' ideas, she listens to innovative ideas and supports them when she sees that it's best for the children. Although I have a busy schedule as a pediatrician, I volunteered to organize the Jogathon this year. Why do I take on such responsibilities at the school? The reason is because I knew that Mrs. Greenlee would be supportive and enjoyable to work with. After having planning a meeting with her, I actually reflected on what wonderful leadership qualities she has. The Jogathon was a great success, and I agreed to continue organizing the Jogathon under Mrs. Greenlee for the next 5 years. Trustees, we the parents at Mission Park School are asking you to reject Dr. Luz's recommendation to demote Mrs. Greenlee. We want her back where she belongs as the Mission Park principal. Thank you for supporting us, Dr. Christine C. McCuistion.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
My name is Francesca Minion from Room 2. Miss Greenlee is a great principal because she makes sure we're safe. She is not like any other principal in my heart, and we want Dr. Luca to change his mind. He should listen to his own kids, don't you think? I'm not writing this because I want her back. I'm writing this because I love her. I love Mission Park School. I love Miss Greenlee.
Thank you. Do me a favor out there, if you can, keep the noise down a little bit, because they're going to introduce themselves as soon as they step up. Thank you.
You're the only one interrupting.
Cynthia Shaffer. I have a child at Mission Park. Whether one agrees or disagrees with bringing back Principal Greenlee, how can one deny the request for facts and fair application of standards? For me, in the end, it's about due process and how you either cannot or will not provide the due process steps to which principals are subject. They are not confidential. We all have livelihoods on which we depend to pay our bills and live our lives. I cannot imagine any one of us being okay with being demoted or fired without first being counseled on the problem and then having a chance to rectify the situation. Even if it's legal to conduct business this way, any basic business or education leadership course will instruct that this is not a productive way to cultivate a positive working or education environment. People need to know how many of you depend on the ignorance of the parents. Now, I mean ignorance in the purest dictionary definition, meaning does not know. Instead of being helpful and available to answer questions and explain what's going on, some of you lawyer up and hide behind confidentiality. People need to know how many of you treat parents as if we have stupid written across our forehead, just like tonight, with all the time cutting. For you, For too long, you've been able to do what you want because no one was around to challenge the decisions that you railroad through, decisions which you cannot defend. It's not the change to which I object, it's the lack of a defendable reason for the change. Even in disagreement, I can respect you if I know you've done your due diligence and you are making an informed vote. Some of you have not done your due diligence. I'm hoping you will take our due diligence by proxy and vote to reject LUSA's reassignment recommendation. You are ultimately responsible, not Dr. LUSA. It is beyond frustrating to be continually stonewalled in our efforts to receive documentation from you. This evaluation was hand-delivered to you, Ms. Barnes. I name you personally because you are Area 4 trustee. You are our direct representative. Did you look at it? There's not one unsatisfactory ranking. This is the very evaluation you cite as the reason for demotion. Do you truly believe a favorable evaluation is a credible reason for demotion? Trustee Hoffman and Larison have indeed reviewed the file, and we know for a fact there is not one shred of evidence of the alleged complaints. They have been the most forthcoming and helpful, and for that we are very, very grateful. Greenbrier Burnett is just a catalyst to a much more imperative notion, leadership accountability. Yes, change is difficult, Dr. LUSA, even for you and the district folks. I sense you're not liking the change of informed and engaged parents who just want a little common sense and integrity. I, for one, am done abdicating my responsibility. No one can please everyone on the issues, but it costs nothing for you, the leaders, to treat people with dignity and respect. Part of treating people right is being able to articulate the supporting details of a position. You cannot support LUSA's recommendation. Therefore, I respectfully request you vote to reject his recommendations. You are ultimately responsible, not LUSA.
Thank you very much. Next.
I'm sorry, don't stop.
Your name.
My name's Frank, but don't start my clock just yet, because whoever's running the audio, if you just turn it down just a little, we're getting some feedback. It's a little distracting. Okay, so my name is Frank Garden. Started now. I have 3 children at Mission Park. My son, however, he was just promoted on Thursday. Very proud of that. I want to talk a little bit about why our Area 4 trustee, Janet Barnes, should be precluded from voting on the matter of the principal's demotion and transfer. Now, first, I believe the bylaws of the school district prohibit Ms. Barnes from casting a vote in this matter based on the common law doctrine against conflict of interest. It's in your bylaws. As you know, Ms. Barnes was previously employed as a teacher at Mission Park under the direct supervision of both Melissa Lewington and then Burnett Rainley. Now, under this doctrine, the board is obligated to avoid the appearance of any sort of impropriety, just in case there is any cause to retaliate. I'm not saying there is, by using her trustee power to effectuate the demotion and transfer of her former supervisors. It's very curious now, the 2 people who used to supervise her are now slated for demotion. So the district can recuse Ms. Barnes from considering this matter for this reason. So Mission Park parents are also questioning the propriety of the district appointing Ms. Barnes as a provisional trustee for Area 4 in 2013. The district's bylaws and the California Education Code govern the actions of trustees and guide the procedure that is triggered when a vacancy created by a resignation needs to be filled by a provisional appointee. And there's various aspects and rules that need to be followed. We're not sure at this point if those rules were followed, but these standards require the board to either call for a special election or appoint a provisional trustee to carry out the remainder of the term. So we submitted a public records request last week. We literally just got it about 3 hours ago, so I haven't had a chance to review the documents. But after a cursory review of the documents, we're still very concerned about this June 12, 2013 meeting that occurred last year when Ms. Barnes was appointed. There were 3 persons being considered as provisional trustee candidates. After 4 rounds of voting by the board, Janet Barnes was selected to become the provisional trustee for Area 4. What's even more concerning is that we reviewed the board meeting minutes of May 15th, 2013. This was nearly a month earlier. We discovered 2 major concerns. The first is with a document that lists Ms. Barnes as the provisional trustee for Area 4. How could Janet Barnes be listed as the provisional trustee as of May 15th when no vote had occurred until the trustee meeting of June 12th? It's very suspicious. Her name is handwritten on this document. Now, if she had been appointed as a provisional trustee as of May 15th, why didn't the school district notify the voters that unless a petition calling for a special election pursuant to the Education Code is filed in the office of the county superintendent Within 30 days of the provisional appointment, it shall become an effective appointment. We don't see any record that this was done. So in other words, we have reason to believe that the district failed to comply with the statutory requirement to notify voters of our right to petition for a special election. So it calls into question every action that she's taken as a member of this body. And we believe for this reason alone, she should be precluded from voting on the matter of the principal's demotion and transfer.
Thank you very much.